25 years of broadcasting excellence. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News. This bulletin is coming to you live from the Joy 99.7 FM studios here in Kokomlemle, a digital address GA0993341. Also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM in Cape Coast, Radio Mass in Takrady, and Kekeli Radio in Ho. It's on ABN Radio in London and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The news is brought to you by UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, Digibank, Let's Go, and Telesol 4G. Just a touch in this edition.
We try to minimize our costs. We try to minimize the room and the floors and so on. So that's how we are trying to get.
State institutions across the country take steps to protect Ghanaians from contracting the deadly coronavirus. We hear from universities, tourism authorities, as well as officials of State Transport Corporation as they take safety measures for passengers from Ivory Coast as that country records its first case of coronavirus, and speak live with a reporter there. Meanwhile, Parliament to install temperature monitors to check MPs and visitors for coronavirus.
It is very, very serious. We don't want problems for ourselves in this country of ours. And honorable members are further advised that sanitizers have been installed.
Also in this package, former commissioner charged the Electoral Commission and its stakeholders for the current rancor about the compilation of a voters' register months to election 2020. He describes the lack of consensus as unfortunate.
We are not being truthful to ourselves. One side is not listening to the other side. I would have wished that the attempt at getting total consensus would have succeeded. But if up to now is still going on, it's unfortunate.
And in sports,
coronavirus continues to affect sporting events worldwide, with the Liga suspending the next 2 rounds of matches. Back home, the Ghana Football Association has issued a statement. Details of that statement later in sports.
And the Multimedia Group launches its flagship election-focused programming, Election Headquarters, to reinforce its place as the leader in election coverage in Ghana.
Right now I'm fed up. What they would promise us to offer us, they did not.
With a tracker, which is mainly sitting on the morning show, we're going to track every promise you make, not only what you write down in the manifesto.
We have details plus here some of the shows soon to hit all our channels, all in a bit to building an informed electorate. You want to stay for details here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apawu. And we settle for details now. And state institutions in the country are taking steps to protect Ghanaians from contracting the deadly coronavirus. To date, 126,380 cases have been recorded across the globe, with 4,635 dying from the disease. In West Africa, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and recently La Côte d'Ivoire have recorded cases. Although Ghana is yet to record any case, President Akufo-Addo revealed in an address last night to the nation that government has allocated $100 million to deal with the virus. Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah explains the source of funding.
The central government is working with development partners and the consolidated fund managers to appropriate that amount of money to be used for the various interventions that the President has been outlining.
Well, we'll bring you the full version of that sound shortly, but let's come back to Ghana because we'll head to La Côte d'Ivoire shortly and speak to a journalist there. But back home, some state institutions are taking steps to prevent the spread of the virus. We begin from Parliament, where temperature monitors will soon be installed in Parliament to check MPs and visitors for the coronavirus. This is part of measures to protect MPs, staff and visitors from the virus. Speaker Professor Michael Quay cautioned MPs this morning against shaking hands and disclose sanitizers have been installed all over the house. He encouraged MPs to take measures put in place seriously.
Whatever it is, the transmission has been identified, particularly with handshaking. It is very, very serious. We don't want problems for ourselves in this country of ours. And honorable members are further advised that sanitizers have been installed at vantage point in the house. Please take advantage and keep on sanitizing your hands. We are all advised accordingly.
Now, Minority Chief Whip Muntaka Mubarak called for the installation of the temperature monitors as additional measures. The Speaker directed the clerk to act accordingly.
The temperature recorder, because of the number of visitors that we receive in this house, if it could be possible for it to be used at the vantage entry to check the temperature of people who are visiting us. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this could even be done to members too. I mean, if every morning we come, as we prepare to enter the chamber, our temperatures are checked, so that at least we'll avoid a situation where infection could be spreading within the chamber service system. Well, Mr. Speaker, as it is said, it doesn't spread through air, but it spreads through contact. So if somebody sneezes over the table, and then the way we sit and converse with each other, we may not shake hands, but we all work on the table, and then before you realize, your hand is either in your nose or around your mouth, and that could still create a...
From Parliament, we head to the University of Cape Coast, where the school has banned all international conferences on campus as part of measures to tackle any threat of coronavirus. Correspondent Richard Kojonyako, who has been speaking with the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Dora Francisca Edubuando.
The university is an international institution, so we have international partners visiting us every now and then. So one of the decisions we have taken is that we are suspending all international conferences that we are supposed to host until further notice. We are also suspending all international travels for our own staff. There are staff who are supposed to attend conferences elsewhere, seminars, workshops. For some of them, we have even issued tickets. We have booked accommodation, but we have to suspend them. We do not have any case on campus, but we are being proactive.
That's the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Dora Francisca Edubuando. Now, state prosecutors have urged a former Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana to self-quarantine on return from a trip to Nigeria. And Accra High Court this morning directed that Dr. Johnson Esiama should be giving his passport to travel. He's currently standing trial over accusations he approved a sum of 650 million Ghana cedis as liquidity support for the defunct UT Bank without following statutory conditions. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has joined us in studio with more on this. So, Joseph, remind us about why his passport was in the custody of the court in the first place.
It was one of the conditions once he was granted bail by the court. He was granted bail of 60 million cedis with 3 sureties. He was required to deposit his passport at the court's registry.
Now, did the state oppose the application, and how exactly did the concern about the deadly COVID-19 come up in court?
Once his lawyers informed the court that he intended to travel to Nigeria, the trial judge pointed out that Nigeria is one of the countries that has reported of confirmed cases, and so that should be of concern to him. The state prosecutor said that they are not opposed to his request for his passport to travel, but they are concerned about his health and the safety of Ghanaians as a whole if he comes back into the country. And so the advice they gave was that they expect him to self-quarantine once he enters the country, and so the court proceeded to grant the request that his passport should be made available.
And what was the reaction of Dr. Isiama's side?
His lawyers were satisfied. They wanted a passport to travel, and they took the advice that had been given.
And he agreed to self-quarantine on return from Nigeria?
He didn't speak directly as to agreed or not, but they said that they were happy they had gotten the passport to travel.
Okay, that's court correspondent Joseph Akable. Now, the Ghana Tourism Authority has directed all tourism and hospitality industries to immediately start screening all guests before giving them access to their facilities. Now, this is one of the several measures put in place by the GTA to ensure the industry is well protected against the deadly coronavirus. At a meeting with industry players today, Chief Executive Officer of the GTA, Akwesi Ajiman, says although the industry has been badly hit by the outbreak, his outfit will continue to ensure that everyone is very well protected and can continue their business without fear or panic.
Based on the reassurances that we have from the Ghana Health Services, especially given the strong statement that the President made yesterday, we feel emboldened to carry on with the educational drive within the industry. What we are telling our operators not to be scared, but just to take care. So the tagline is don't be scared, just take care. And we are asking that at every public area in the hospital establishment, there has to be an open display of the messages, and these are messages that we have printed, and they have to be placed out there. One, avoiding handshakes, the various precautionary measures that the Ghana Health Service has advised. 2, we're asking all hotels to ensure that in the hotel rooms, these messages are boldly displayed and there are sanitizers and other washing equipment that is available for people to wash their hands and avoid the handshake. Also, in the area of the restaurant and the kitchen, they have to wear the protective gear. That will ensure that at least if somebody has a symptom that is closer to coronavirus, they are properly monitored. And so we've asked that we get the testing guns that we call them. We test the temperatures, and people with high temperatures are then isolated and then asked to liaise with the Ghana Health Service.
Now, from the hotels, it's time to join the public transport. We'll be gauging the mood of some passengers of the commercial trotro buses shortly and join my colleague Maxwell Agbagba. But officials of the State Transport Corporation are taking steps to control possible spread of coronavirus among passengers, especially from La Côte d'Ivoire, as the country records its first case of coronavirus yesterday. We'll go on the phone line now and speak to Kingsley Kobo. He's an Ivorian reporter. We are grateful for your time, sir, on the midday news. Can you tell us a bit about this Ivorian situation and what authorities have confirmed as the coronavirus?
Oh, yes, exactly. It was a great shock yesterday in the whole country because people have been praying for not to happen in Ivory Coast. But unfortunately, we were shocked yesterday when we were told that Ivory Coast has confirmed its first coronavirus case. At about 5:35, 40 p.m. yesterday, the health minister, Owen, came on air and announced that they caught a man who was showing signs of high fever and coughing and sneezing. He went for shopping somewhere and he was rushed to the hospital. And a few minutes later, they confirmed he had the virus. And later, checks revealed that the man traveled from Italy. He's an Ivorian of about 45-year-old. He traveled from Italy the past weekend, I think, Sunday night, and arrived in Ivory Coast Monday morning, early morning. And he went home. He went to see his family. He went for shopping. That was where he was rushed to the hospital when he started fainting, and he was detected to have contracted the virus.
Now, as a result of this development, we understand that Ghana's STC is taking some steps to ensure passenger safety. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, Ghana STC is the biggest transport company, international transport bus company in Ivory Coast. So immediately after this morning, last night, they positioned some measures like hand washing, face covering equipment. So all those entry into the premises of STC are being checked for temperature levels, and you must wash your hands, you must cover your faces before they enter. And even the taxi drivers, all this country. So they are the first company doing that, and I think I was told Ivorian bus companies want to copy that measure.
Merci beaucoup, Kingsley Kobo there. From the STC, it's time now to join the trotro. Maxwell Agbagba has been interacting with some passengers.
We're here in this trotro heading to Russia, interacting with some of the passengers on board here to find out from them what they think about this and whether they have any fears at all. I have with me here a nurse. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
When we come to the station, we are all at risk of being infected. But when you come in and you sit beside somebody, you should be careful. Sometimes you should have hand sanitizers beside you. Once a while, you just drop a little on palm, then you rub on it. And you should be careful with coming into contact with somebody close to you, talking to you, someone coughing, someone sneezing. At least you should distance yourself a little bit. And you can buy pure water. Once a while, you think, just wash your hands.
What he's saying is that we should only pray that we will not record a case of coronavirus here in Ghana. Now,
oh, so now let's come more. Obia was all quotation on who said, Man, I mean, And this will be
He said that we should keep praying. Another thing that he said it's about letting people know that if you're sitting in a vehicle, in a truck, sitting very close to another passenger, I mean, you don't have to sneeze or cough, in the vehicle. Even if you have to do that, you have to cover your mouth.
And those are the Church Diaries with Maxwell Agbagba, praying we shall pray. But while the STC is making giant strides in La Côte d'Ivoire, Vice Chairman of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle GPRTU Ordona branch, Alhaji Issa Mohammed, says they are helpless and there is nothing they can do in case of an outbreak. He's calling for government intervention in the areas of education and provision of sanitizers.
We can't do anything about it unless the government, because here is a big public place. By the end of the day, 1,000 people will come. But
what exactly do you want the government to do?
We can do our effort here, but God forbid, let's take it when somebody have the virus here. What will you do? Which advice or which experience we have here? We can't do anything. But we hear that they say we should find sanitizer.
Have you not thought about maybe putting bowls of water here so that for passengers who would board the vehicles that are parked here?
Oh, that one is good. Now you are advising us. That's why we are saying that the government or the municipal assembly that control here is supposed to come educate us more.
That's the Vice Chairman of the Kwame Nkrumah Circle GPRTU Ordona branch, Alhaji Issa Mohammed. Whilst on the road, let's talk about fuel prices. Some traders in Accra are demanding an immediate reduction in fuel prices following a sharp fall on the world market as a result of the spread of the coronavirus. Oil prices are falling by 30%, influence petroleum prices around the world, but has yet to reflect in the pumps in Ghana. Various stakeholders, including some market women, are disappointed at the turn of events and are demanding immediate steps are taking to review prices. Listen to President of the Greater Accra Market Women Association, Mercy Jani, speaking to Joy News earlier today.
Why is it that when there is a reduction, it takes people to plead, to appeal, to knock doors before the reduction is done? How come? It is high, the price is high. It is low, let the price come down so that we all enjoy. Because if the goods in the market are expensive, people can't buy. And at least we lose our profit, we lose our capital. So bring that thing to the standard so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to make our market, make our profit, so that we'll be able to look after you and your children.
That's Mercy Jani, President of the Greater Accra Market Women Association, but regulator of the downstream petroleum industry, NPA, explains a reduction in fuel prices can only be effected by industry players in the next pricing window, which falls on Monday. Yes, CEO Alhassan Tampuli.
Now, the next pricing window starts from the 16th of March. Government taxes have not increased. The cedi is way stronger than the dollar, and we should get the benefit of that. Now, what they must also know is that the oil marketing companies are entitled to some margins, which comes up to about 68 pesos in the price build-up. Now, because of the forces of demand and supply, they have reduced their margin sometimes to about 30 or 40 pesos in order to be able to beat the other oil marketing company. And we believe that by the next pricing window, from what we have seen, the movement of the products, the prices, and so on and so forth, we are likely to see something within the range of 15% reduction.
That's Hassan Tampuli. He is the CEO of the National Petroleum Authority. Meanwhile, Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC, Duncan Amwa, says at least a 10% reduction on Monday will be fair to consumers.
We believe Ghanaians indeed deserve fairness under a deregulated environment. And so it is our expectation that the pumps would reflect indeed what global prices have been over the past few weeks. And we are expecting reductions in no less a percentage than 10. Indeed, if these reductions are to come and they reflect effective Monday, it will be our expectation further that the commuting public would also be given some fairness by some reductions in transport fares.
This is the Midday News. You're on Joy 99.7 FM. Our top stories. We've been tracking the COVID-19 as state institutions across the country take steps to protect Ghanaians from contracting the deadly coronavirus, including Parliament as it installs temperature monitors to check MPs and visitors for coronavirus. Still to come, former Commissioner chides the Electoral Commission and its stakeholders for the current rancor about the compilation of a voters' register months to election 2020. He describes the lack of consensus as unfortunate.
We are not being truthful to ourselves. One side is not listening to the other side. I would have wished that the attempts at getting total consensus would have succeeded. But if up to now it's still going on, it's unfortunate.
And the Multimedia Group launches its flagship election-focused programming, Election Headquarters, to reinforce its place as the leader in election coverage in Ghana.
Right now I'm fed up. What they would promise us to offer us, they did not.
With a tracker, which is mainly sitting on the morning show, we're going to track every promise you make, not only what you write down in the manifesto.
UMB was established in 1972 as the premier bank for the corporate and private sector in Ghana. From our very beginning, as the only Ghanaian bank serving all categories of businesses, we set a standard for excellence and innovation over the past 45 years. We've built a financially healthy and strong bank, demonstrated our commitment to our customers and to growing businesses, and exhibited originality and innovation at every turn. At UMB, our focus is built around people, service, products, and technology. These are the key to our present success and our future triumphs. At UMB, we're poised to make a difference not only with our customers, but also in the banking industry. We invite you to share in our future. Our future starts now with you.
Good things come in two, Sampa. And Nunti, from the second month of the year, for 2 months, DSTV is giving you 2 months DSTV access subscription instead of one when you buy a DSTV Zapper. Nothing so. Yes, step you up more than last month. Just pay for a higher package and DSTV will step you up to the one above that from 40 Ghana cedis all month long. SMS DSTV to 1731 and we will call you back or call 0302 740 540. DSTV, feel every moment.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Yes, we're listening to the Midday News. Time for sports, and COVID-19 is leaving its trails in the sporting fraternity as well.
It is tearing sporting events across the globe, apart. And Real Madrid, their players are in quarantine as we speak after the club's basketball player of Real Madrid. They have a basketball team as well.
Okay.
And he tested positive. And the Spanish top flight La Liga has suspended at least the next 2 rounds of matches as a result of the Real Madrid players going into quarantine. Now, Real are due to play Manchester City in the Champions League on Tuesday. Now, Formula One, Team McLaren have also pulled out of the Australian Grand Prix after team member tested positive. Yesterday, Juventus and Italy defender Daniele Rugani tested positive, and as a result, the entire Juventus team, including star player Cristiano Ronaldo, have been quarantined. Back home, the Ghana Football Association says it is closely monitoring the evolvement of the coronavirus around the world, and particularly in Africa. The FA has decided to maintain the schedule of all competitions as it continues to liaise with government, the Ghana Health Service, and the Ministry of Health, and follow all national health protocols on the matter. The statement from the FA concluded that the GFA will continue to support government efforts by appealing to all participants of football media and the general public to report suspected cases to nearby health centers and hospitals. And we also understand that an announcement is imminent from UEFA to the effect that it is going to suspend the UEFA Champions League and the Europa League. We're just waiting for confirmation of that.
Thank you very much, Hans Mensando. Let's talk politics now. And a former commissioner of the Electoral Commission, Dr. David Kanga, has described as unfortunate current rancor between the Electoral Commission and its stakeholders following the decision to compile a new voters register ahead of the 2020 polls. According to the former commissioner, all sides must listen to good counsel in order to deliver a credible election. He starts by commending the Multimedia Group for the launch of the election headquarters in this exclusive interview with Joy News. Listen.
The role that you will be playing is very, very crucial. You need to be extremely careful and avoid anything that will bring ambiguity, that will promote disagreements. You shouldn't allow your platform to be turned into a platform of litigation and all that. We need total cooperation, collaboration, and we should use your platform to develop confidence and trust in the system, the electoral system, so that at the end of the day, we should all be able to say, this is our own.
You mentioned that as a platform, we should help build confidence in the electoral system. You have been at the helm of affairs, should I say. As it stands now, do you have confidence in the electoral system that we have?
That is a judgment I wouldn't like to make, because as soon as I do that, it will maybe trigger something else. But I believe that it is possible. It's absolutely possible for us to continue to have the people of this country to have the trust and confidence in the system. And if we work together, it should be the case. We are not being, maybe should I say, truthful to ourselves. One side is not listening to the other side carefully. I mean, the Electoral Commission on one side, the other side being those of us, whether were political parties or NGOs or what. I would have wished that the attempts at getting total consensus would have succeeded. But if up to now it's still going on, it's unfortunate.
Is it healthy?
And that may rather be pointing to the lack of total confidence in the system. I've been listening to all the discussions, and I see that I'm not too happy with what is happening. But all of it.
That's a former commissioner of the Electoral Commission, Dr. David Kanga. And the die is cast. In the coming weeks, your most credible news source, Joy News, will be rolling out a series of election-focused programs as part of our grand plan to deliver comprehensive coverage before, during, and after the December 2020 polls. From the young to the old, the elite to the average person, there's something for everyone. Here's a recap of what you probably missed, plus why Joy News is your choice network for all things elections. Of course, this is your election headquarters.
What does this mean? We therefore project it is almost statistically impossible for presidents to achieve 50% plus one.
2016, Joy News delivered to its audiences what many describe as unrivaled election coverage. And it is not for nothing that the network has become the reference point for all things election coverage. Of course, your election headquarters. With 9 months to the December 2020 polls, Joy News is at it again, launching an elaborate coverage plan, fresh programming content, revitalized people-driven shows, and of course, a competent team. Head of Political Desk Evans Mensah speaks about some of the new shows expected to be rolled out in the coming weeks as part of a 2020 coverage.
This time, we're not going to hold you only to the text of your manifestos. Okay. We're also going to hold you to what you say on political platforms. So we say this year, with a tracker, which is mainly sitting on the morning show, we're going to track every promise you make, not only what you write down in a manifesto.
Building an informed electorate, the theme for this year's election headquarters, seeks to help the voter make decisions from a position of knowledge. The new show, The Verdict, will be key.
This is where journalists, among ourselves, come on a platform, look at all the campaign-related issues. We will analyze it, we will pronounce a verdict on it in the end, ourselves. It's our opinion, but it will be informed opinion. You are allowed to disagree with us, and that is why another element in there will be a significant social media polling. Let's see whether your verdict agrees with our verdict.
2 shows from the election year 2016 are back, revitalized and even more engaging. With partnership from the Star Ghana Foundation, Ballot Box will be with you. Here is Programs Director of the Foundation, Ibrahim Tanko, when he was asked why the foundation came on board this time.
They say that a good thing sells itself. Multimedia has stood out over the years in terms of the quality of its coverage of the elections, but also the provision of opportunities for people who have otherwise been excluded from the dialogue to have a say, to participate actively in the conversations leading up to the elections. Didn't have any reservations at all.
Well, for the young and trendy, you have not been left out. Elections, as much as it matters to the old, matters to you. Ahead of the election, both the governing New Patriotic Party and the main opposition National Democratic Congress have their own pitches to win the votes of the people. Information Minister Kojo Ponkroma, who was at the event, speaks about the success story of the Akufo-Addo administration.
If in President Mahamad's time, the rate at which goods and services were increasing in terms of price was 15.3% at the time he was leaving, and today in President Akufo-Addo's time, it has come down to 7.8%. What it means is that the rate at which it is going up has dropped from 15% to 7%. But it shows that one is a better manager of the economy than the other.
But that was countered by NDC's Director of Communications, Kakra Esamwa, who is unimpressed.
Nobody in this world buys food for the person who is dead. We only deal with today. Some people have been saying in my language, 2016 is gone. We are in 2020. Now we know what Akufo-Addo can do. He has been such a terrible disappointment and failure.
But the verdict is in the hands of the voter. Here are some of the voices from Kantamanto, one of Accra's biggest markets.
Right now we are fed up because they will come today, they will say, I'll give you hay. But tomorrow it's not that. What they would promise us to offer us, they did not. But now, I don't know, this 2020, I'll just queue the line and go and vote.
Mean you will not vote?
No, because I've had enough.
Last time I said, first I will pay your ticket 50 pesos. Biana, I will 1 city 50 pesos. Recently, I announced our income tax. Ghanaian women, we are suffering. Market women.
The team, as always, is poised to deliver to you unrivaled election coverage, and of course, with the most competent team on radio, television, and online on your election headquarters.
And hashtag #ElectionHQ is trending on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere.
Absolutely.
What are people saying?
People are talking about our coverage of elections. Hashtag election headquarters. So at John Stone said, unemployment, economy and security will influence my vote. Hashtag election HQ. Now at Yasin says, we are fed up, but we have to exercise our civic rights. We will vote. Hashtag election HQ. Now Sally_T says, all the parties are the same. However, we will still vote. Hashtag election HQ. Now, you know, the only place to be for all your news related to elections
is the
before,
election headquarters,
during and after the election.
All multimedia platforms,
absolutely,
online, on TV, on radio. Hashtag election HQ. I am Emefa Apawu. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Thanks so much for your company.